All right, we finally reached the last lesson in the Glacial Geomorphology unit. This lesson is a summative assessment that's really a collection of everything that has been done leading up to it, the 6 lessons that I've put together for you, plus all of the supplemental lessons that you'll have to put together to connect some of them. Uh, this is the one between this and lesson 5, which was the bioethics debate. This is the assignment and assessment and lesson that really hit home for the question, how does the geologic setting of the Iowa Great Lakes impact the delivery of water and contaminants to the lakes? So this is kind of the one that really hits that underlying question that we've been kind of looking at and thinking about this entire unit. So let's go ahead and jump into it. What we have is what I've called the City Hall presentation. So the idea is that this is going to be an opportunity for students to showcase their understanding of not only glacial geomorphology, but the water cycle, the geologic setting, and really seek to answer that big question. As far as NGSS practice goes, like with the last lesson especially, I should say, this is mostly human impact on the environment, which is the last set of standards for the Earth and Environmental Sciences section of the NGSS. As far as background info is concerned, being that this is the summative assessment, students should really have a good idea of general geology, glacial geomorphology, the water cycle, local issues, especially from that last one, the debate, and that really the debate should lay the groundwork of where they want to take their research when it comes to putting together this City Hall presentation. This assessment could really take up to a full week, depending on how long you want to give students to prepare for it. If you want to give them like 4 days in class in order to do research, and then 1 day to do their presentations, and then go on to the next Monday and do presentations, you could do that. You could give them 3 and 2. It's really up to you. You can make them do most of their work outside of class, but I think they should have a good kind of foundation and idea of where they're going to be going based on the bioethics debate that they did. As far as just a helpful resource, the first one I have right here is just the Dickinson County Clean Water Alliance. All of the resources from the last lesson as well would be really helpful, along with just kind of the PDF hard copies that I'm putting in with this lesson bundle. As far as materials, students are really going to just need their computer, internet access. If they want to do a physical form of their presentation, such as like a poster board or a brochure, they might need the stuff to do that as well. And then the pre-assessment, this isn't necessarily a pre-assessment, but making sure that you meet with groups as about halfway through to make sure they're on the right track as far as their research is concerned, and if they're asking the right questions, if they need any help. It's not necessarily a pre-assessment, it's kind of a mid-assessment check. As far as the actual assignment itself, students are going to be partnering, or the idea is that students partner with the Dickinson County Clean Water Alliance to create proposals for managing pollutants in the Iowa Great Lakes region that they would then be presenting in a town hall meeting. I'm just having them present it to you as the teacher. That's kind of what I imagine for it. If you really do want to take it a step further and have them present to a local conservation board or city council meeting, that'd be fantastic and great community engagement for them as well. But that's not quite the level I was expecting from this. With that, students should really be asking their own questions again that they should seek to answer, or already have the answers to the questions they've been asking the entire unit and present those in this. As far as the actual investigation and the inquiry behind it, groups need to assess the risk of pollutants, how likely they're going to be present, the amount and like what the level of damage could potentially be, the risks to human life, to farm life, to society, anything like that, and then explain how the local geology plays a part in that, interacting with the water cycle. And they should be communicating in such a way that they're communicating to people that don't necessarily have a science background. That's going to help you understand, or help you see whether or not they understand the actual concept underlying the science terminology. Some big things that I thought students should go over is why it's important to manage the pollution risk. The things that they should include is how does their management solution work? Also, why does it work? Why is it needed? the location of where they try and put it, if it's an actual physical thing, or the areas that would be affected by it if they enact it, the cost of implementing it, and then timelines for how long does it take to implement and how long until we see the effects and how long is it supposed to be there. Is it a long-term thing? Is it like a shorter thing? Different possibilities there. Other resources they might need in order to implement their solution, and then the desired outcomes of their proposed solution. Any other questions you think of that they can answer will go in here, and then put these together once you've come up with what you want students to go after and answer and come up with. Use that to guide you in your creation of the rubric for how you're going to grade them. As far as the negotiation, the students are going to be presenting their proposals to the class at the bare minimum, and so that is kind of a negotiation. There can be a discussion afterwards where students can ask questions to the group, and then follow-on investigations, see if they can actually go through and maybe make one of these happen, or if there's more stuff that they want to look into for the future. That would really just be enrichment. I don't really see it going any as far as you as a class progressing further past this point unless you have extra time and really want to. As this lesson kind of is the assessment, you as the teacher need to assess the student proposals and then use that as an assessment of their understanding of how well they know the concepts and answer the big questions from the unit. Because if they don't do that, then they might not really understand what's going on. You might have to go back over some things, or they might not be as successful as you want. And so that probably would then lead to some revamping of the unit. Make sure that we have on record any of the student questions that didn't get answered or any of their feedback on it. And then as far as societal relevance, maybe just at the end of all the presentations, talk about one more time, touch on it. Why do they think it's important to talk about this stuff? Why is it important to try and act on it and come up with solutions to this issue? And then, like in all the lessons, there's an after-action review, goes over how well the material worked, what presentations did you see that were effective, what worked well in having students do their research and then do those presentations. So, and then student inputs. Being that this is the last big hurrah on this lesson, please, if you try it out, leave in the comments how well it worked, things you really liked about it, or if you come up with a better summative assessment for the end. I did not include any rubrics, mostly because you can design, if you throw in more things you want students to find, that's going to be more stuff to be graded on in the rubric, and so I did want to leave that up to you as the teacher for interpretation. But hopefully this unit works well for you and your class in covering some of the NGSS standards. If you're from the Iowa Great Lakes region, I hope this unit really does work for a good case study that comes with a community relevance and that's enjoyable. And I hope you guys enjoy the unit, and I hope the students really enjoy the learning that comes with it. I've really enjoyed putting it together. So thank you for watching all the videos.